Hey everyone, welcome to the Pez Podcast. I'm here with Peter. Should I say your last name?
Yeah, sure.
Shammo. Awesome. Peter, just tell me something about yourself. Just
Uh,
short and
I'm a
sweet.
tw- I'm a 2020 graduate of high school. I'm pursuing business and in the finance industry. Not going to college yet. Taking a year off to see my options.
Awesome, awesome. It's funny because I remember when we were talking about like doing an actual podcast, like a week ago. I don't know,
A few months ago, actually, I think.
a few. I imagine that was a few
Yeah, the
months
first
ago,
idea.
and
Yeah.
it was weird because I was hesitant. I was like, I don't
Yeah,
know, like
like for
who
me,
would
like
want.
yeah, for me, like I didn't even think about I thought about the idea, but I was just too lazy to actually get around it. And then I saw you literally yesterday,
Yeah,
tell me
I
about
I,
that
w-
you
I
made
was
it and everything.
surprised because out of I started this thing up 2 days ago and it was hard because I procrastinate so much, but luckily just like friends like people like I found the source of motivation to like just do it. And it was bits at a time too. Like one day I set up like the scriptures whatever chat, and then the other day I set up this or whatever else, and it eventually kind of pieced together, which is really satisfying because I thought it was going to be so much harder just to to get people on board. But I have like lots of
Yeah,
people now scheduled throughout my week, and
yeah, I
I
think you also have a really good support team, you know what I mean? Your
yeah.
friends and stuff and your family,
Mhm.
very supportive of what you do.
For sure,
Uh,
for sure.
yeah.
All right, so I'm actually really interested in how you became the person you became because you had a really transformative life. I mean, you know, you're a bit of an entrepreneur. I mean, in elementary school, we
hmm
were selling like candy and shit like that,
And yeah,
and
I like Paper Ninja stars and stuff. I
yeah,
remember
and you
that, yeah.
kept that mindset up until now, which is really interesting because I mean, it has shifted for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It's changed even throughout year to year. Like I see from 16 to 17, I feel like a whole new person, but at the same time I'm still my old self.
For sure.
Um, but the person the way I am today kind of starts from the beginning, like the way my parents raised me. Like my
Yeah.
dad, anytime there was say you had to call Rogers or your internet provider or like electricity company or whatever, he would make me do it, and I think that got me like a decent amount of communicational skills.
Yeah, where's your
Uh,
dad? Because your dad's not the Russian side. Where's your dad from?
no, no, no. My dad's he was born in Iraq.
Iraq, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
born
And
in
your
yeah,
mom was born in Russia, and then she came
yeah,
over, right? Yeah.
yeah. My mom came over early 90s, and my dad has been in Canada since 87.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And it's weird because like on the spectrum of like minorities as a whole, like you fit on a
uh,
very niche area of it as well. Like it's not
yeah,
like super small, but it's also pretty niche. I mean,
yeah,
we were all
definitely.
born in, or not born in Brampton, but you know,
Born in Ontario, yeah,
yeah,
different
hanging in
parts.
Ontario, it's like
Yeah, to be honest, my foundations and a lot like most of my foundations and stuff all consist of my minority and my family, like the way they raised me and stuff, like the old school way. But growing up in Canada, I don't really consider myself to be an immigrant. I think I consider myself to be Canadian because I don't have the same traditional or cultural values as the as
yeah,
my
as most people, yeah.
like
Up,
totally hating each other.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
more like it was for I'm pretty sure that for me it was a very like competitive person. Like I could very much
Yes.
relate to you, and
Yes.
like your situation was definitely a lot not better, but like you were doing it a lot better than I was, and that was something that I guess at first was like something to be envious of. But then eventually, when we did meet, like what
Yeah,
grade 10,
yeah,
first
on
semester,
yeah, yeah. For around first or yeah,
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 you
it
we
was
were
early.
very alike. We
Yeah. Like
like
once we kind of got down and really talked to each other, we realized we're very similar in
yeah,
mindset and
we're
personality
we're super
wise.
the same in lots of ways. And
Yeah.
honestly, it was crazy though because like I took a lot of what I learned from you and I improved it in my own life in a really weird way, you
Yeah,
know.
to be honest, the same thing with you, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's just
And
a part of life you take and,
yeah,
like, to be successful, I guess, you gotta not only learn from your own mistakes, you gotta learn from people's mistakes and, like,
yeah,
use their lessons.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and with everything that's going on in the world right now, like you got like people forgetting about coronavirus. You know,
Yeah,
you got
because of protests and such. Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. Like people went from like when did the protest start? Like 2 weeks ago, maybe three.
Yeah, about like 2 weeks ago, I'd say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and what
and
and but coronavirus is still a thing, but like
yeah,
nobody. And you know what's
the
funny? I haven't heard anything about infectivity. You know what I mean? I haven't
oh
heard.
really? The like I've been paying attention to the news and numbers, and
Mm-hmm.
they're actually doubling. Like people are
Really?
getting sick. Yeah. Even though
Holy.
like Ontario's still like trying to reopen with phase 2 and everything, but this week, like today I saw, excuse me, a couple articles saying they just increased the amount of people that you can have together, right? Like
Yeah.
it's like 10 people now.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be close family either. You can have up to 10 people in your household, family or friend, and then they said you can even like hug and kiss them. That was literally
And
in
you know
the
what's funny? But that's
articles.
exactly how it spreads. You know,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
hugging and kissing. They like you can't really 100% guarantee it anyways because it
Yeah, I
spreads
know.
through close contact like
Yeah,
really
but
easily.
like at the same time, it's literally what happened to Italy. They did it
That's
like
true.
in a similar fashion to what Ontario's doing right now, and look
Hmm.
at how their numbers spiked up.
How are they? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think they're
Yeah,
settling now. I haven't paid too
they're
much
they.
attention, but I
I
know in the
know it hit
beginning,
them hard. It definitely hit them hard.
yeah,
They were not prepared to
at
deal with the amount of
all.
cases that they were gonna have. Like it looked like on
Yeah,
social media, it looked like a horror movie. You know, like
yeah,
piecing together videos of just people freaking out. You know,
literally stuck in at home. I saw like some
yeah.
videos were pretty warm-hearted, where like a bunch of people in their apartments were going onto their balconies and they're like singing and stuff
I
together,
saw
playing
that. I saw
instruments.
that.
Yeah,
That was see, and that's it's weird because we live in a point where like we don't necessarily see all the good that people do,
yeah,
and but it's at the same time, it's like why? Because bad shit on social media affects you negatively.
exactly. Yeah.
Good shit on social media affects you positively. It's so why isn't it? Why is it so negative? Like why do we keep feeding ourselves all this negative like just crap? You know what I mean? I find it really interesting. It's hard.
Yeah, I think it's partially like the strong like the corporations and stuff like that kind of like festering and like kind of building on giving fear so like they can kind of be in control and get like sell you products and stuff to make you feel safe or whatnot, you know what I mean? Just like
Like you think it's like money power, like they're doing
yeah,
it because they have money that they can control what you want to see or what
yeah,
you see rather,
yeah, what
right?
you see, yeah. Well, it's literally that because
But that's interesting because then if you look at porn, it's not the same thing. Like people, nobody's forced to
yeah,
look at porn, but they have millions of dollars, right? So it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm not sure. I
It,
mean, like you do see the sketchy advertisements everywhere. That's for sure.
yeah,
So I guess in a weird way you do, but I mean at
like
the same time, it's not like downed on you.
yeah, I guess. But I think like if there weren't as many rules, because like think about it, Twitter isn't like an open source. It's owned by a corporation, so they have like strict guidelines, so you can't just put that type of stuff. Or Instagram, you can't put that type of stuff. Or Facebook, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like
And it's crazy because the biggest consuming markets are
social
some of
media.
these social media platforms.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is like they're kind of made with not too much startup funds, and then the main value that they get is your personal information, because when I was making me and my friend were making advertisements for our landscaping company for Instagram and Facebook, and I'm not kidding you, it was scary seeing how specific you make your like target your ads.
Oh,
You
you as the
yeah.
advertiser have a
Yeah,
huge decision in that.
yes, you choose by gender, by age, by wage.
No way.
Yeah, there's more than
That's
that.
scary.
Like what they buy, what they look at on Instagram and stuff like that. Like it's very like the advertisements that you get on your phone are so specifically targeted towards you. It really is scary, and like
And,
because of
and you
the
know what's
privacy
funny? There's so
boundaries.
much paranoia with that. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
me myself, I like sometimes I'm just like I see people reacting to like, they'll be talking about cats.
Yeah,
good
and you'll
on,
see.
and
Yeah,
then you'll get advertisement for cats. Like you'll
yeah,
straight up like or anything related to it really
yeah.
because just because
I was talking about cars with my friends the other day, right? We were in the garage and we are talking about cars because his car had some problems, right?
yeah
I literally open up TikTok. What do I see? A bunch of car, like not one after the other, but I see a bunch of car videos. And the thing is, I don't follow any like automotive or car like accounts like that. Not that I don't like cars, but like,
yeah.
I don't really
See, here's the thing. It's like it's always a double-edged like thought,
sword.
just
Yeah.
because if you think about it in that way, well, oh, okay, well, there's always that chance it could just happen anyways because of
Yeah,
rain,
it could
right?
have been
But on
coincidence.
the other
Yeah.
chance, if it is a privacy invasion thing, that is super fucked up. It's not.
Yeah,
It's not like if. It's if it is right. Like
but the thing is, like, when you read the guidelines and terms and conditions, those big ass pages on social media sites and anything
that's
that you like,
true.
you don't know what you're signing for. I telling you, 99.9% of people who get like any term or condition, they just click the check mark because they want to get it over with. But if you really read what you're signing off to, you're literally giving your way your right. Social
I
media, like the way that they make all this money is not only it's through ads, but the reason is the reason they make so much off of ads is because how specifically targeted the ads are to the people, so the people buy it.
Yeah, because it increases
Yeah.
the chances of them buying something product related. Because if you've
Yes.
been put around something that you've recently wanted, you're
Yep.
much likely to buy it. And you know what's funny? There was this one social media platform. I'm not sure what it was called, but it had a huge controversial thing, and it was like every minute you get a social media point. I'm not sure if it was like Zim or something like
Hmm.
that.
I'm not sure.
But and I went on there, but I read the agreements, and oh my god, the first time I read the agreements for any social media platform
Yeah.
because it was kind of sketchy. They want to take all your personal information. They want to
Yep.
take like how often you're on there. It's a lot of
Yeah.
scary things that you don't actually realize
Yep.
the true meaning of, right? And it was just wild because like you give this information for free and we all love to do it. We all love to go on social media platforms and just consume whatever it offers us, and sometimes it's not really beneficial. In the meantime, we're providing these companies tons of monetary value. Maybe not as one person, but as millions.
Yeah, as a collective, yeah.
Like every time hey buddy, follow this, follow that. You're consuming media and you're helping these guys or sorry these people's business grow
Yep.
by socializing. It's
Yeah,
crazy. It's a great
you're
plan.
literally increasing their asset.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And all just through talking, which is something
Yeah.
crazy. Like could you imagine like a business where the customer increases your business?
Where the customer is the product.
The customer is the product, and the
Yeah.
product multiplies. It just spreads. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, like I don't know if you used Facebook when it was like back
Oh
when it
yeah.
was like really
Oh
popping
yeah.
and stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know how you could put your interests, what movies you liked, what jobs you worked at. You know what I mean? Like it was like pretty much you that you're putting on. You know what I mean? Online, like who you are, and then like if it's public or if it's not public,
and
private. You know what I
people and
mean?
people consume that. But and
Yeah.
I mean, people vary like depending on how much. But the people that spend, I'm like it's very easy like for sure to say that there is a group of people that spend 6+ hours on social media, whether
Oh,
that's
there's a
the
lot.
polarized older generation or like us, like some teenagers,
Yeah.
like I've definitely
Most
done it.
teenagers, most
Yeah,
teenagers. Like
most.
me and you are not as excuse me, on social media as a lot others, but like when I moved to Windsor, right, and I saw like the difference in culture, right? Even though it's city, but you can still see the difference, but like people don't really interact each other with each other like we do, like with talking and like deep conversations. Everything just through phone. They'll
It's
literally
true.
they'll sit in
Bro,
the same
even
room
even
and
even
snap each
parties,
other.
even parties are like that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like you go to parties to like really try and socialize, but like don't get me wrong, there's definitely socializing, but
Yeah. It's mainly everyone's
most
on the phone.
everybody's either on their phone or it's a small group that
Yeah.
knows each other and nobody wants to like converse with anybody else.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think everyone like is on their phones and on social media all the time because they're trying to portray their life better on social media than it is in
And that's
reality.
so toxic. Bro,
It's
you're
toxic
seeing
and
you're seeing
sad.
a highlight reel of somebody else's life, like not even less than a quarter, like less than
Yeah.
1%, and
And
you base your life off of that, and
yeah,
now like that's so bad for your mental. It's
I
for me
I
anyways.
I think it's terrible for your mental health,
I
cause
noticed
like
that, like for me it was just wild.
yeah, because you start comparing yourself to everyone else on social media because you see
Yeah,
so many things, you know what I mean? Because like already in life, right? Not that like naturally you do compare yourself to people, you know what I mean? Like it's not a negative thing, it's just a natural thing, you know what I mean? But on social media, because of the amount that you see now, how everyone's trying to one up each other, it's just like too much negativity.
it's a lot. It's definitely
Yeah.
a lot, and I'm not sure if it's getting better or worse, like just because of the awareness issue around it. I'm
Yeah,
not sure if necessarily people are becoming more or less aware of it, and
I
I'm
don't know.
I'm a little bit scared. I'm not sure if I'm even 100% aware of it because I consume media daily, but I've
Yeah.
tried to restrict it, to a certain amount, right?
Yeah, well, for me, like I don't like restrict or like go on it too much. I kind of just do it however I like. But when I do see a bunch of information or like just a bunch of toxicity, like it goes over my head. I don't know. I think it's just because like maybe that I'm mentally aware or just my mental state. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't really bother me that much. I don't really care.
Yeah.
Like to be quite frank, I don't really care for anyone's opinion except for my own and the people closest to me. And even the people closest to me, sometimes I don't give a rat's ass about their opinion because they don't understand it from my point of view. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Even though
and
I can explain it to them
I
from
I
my.
kind of I only really got into social media around the time that I really first got a phone, like maybe,
Yeah.
but maybe I want to say like 1 or 2 years after that, like around maybe like grade 8, grade
Yeah.
7,
That's when
like
you really started getting into social media.
yeah, like that's when you
Yeah.
really look at yourself and say, okay, what do I want to portray myself as? And like, but as a kid, I remember like, you know, when I looked at social media, I look at it completely different now, obviously. And
Yeah.
as a kid, it was more like
Oh, this is cool.
yeah, like it was
Yeah.
very simple. It was me just looking at different various sources and just
Yeah.
really just being surprised by everything that I could learn.
Yeah,
Now,
and then sorry to interrupt you. I don't know if
yeah,
it's like the social media or the way that parenting has changed throughout the years, but I feel like one or the other has made people much softer.
it's just weird as a whole. I'm
Yeah.
really interested about one thing: your your journey as a whole using cannabis. Really interested. So like,
Oh, where does
okay,
that begin?
yeah, yeah. Where does it begin? Actually, like when was the first time?
First time was late, like close to the end of the ninth grade. It was at my it was the first party I went to. It was at my like a friend from Taekwondo. He was having a birthday party, and then did it there with my best friends and stuff. But
Yeah.
it wasn't out of pure pressure or anything like that. Like to be honest, the way that a school and media portrayed peer pressure, right, is nothing like how it is in, or I experienced it as.
Yeah, I see a huge disconnect between what like school thinks
Yeah,
we believe and what it actually is also.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like for me, I was kind of curious at first. Uh, so I tried it then,
Yeah. And how often did you
and
try it like throughout that same year?
that time it was like maybe once every 2 weeks, a month. Like it was very like occasional, very occasional. Like you know what I mean? It's like when you start in high school. You know what I mean? You do
Well,
here,
what was
you do
your
there.
I'm curious, what was your thought? Like what did you think of it like as you were doing it that year? Like besides like recreational purposes, like what
Um.
was like the main thing really just going like, you know what, like this is how I feel, like, you know,
Was
what
kind
am I
of out
getting
of
from this?
like it was kind of just for fun, you know what I mean? Everything
Yeah.
was funnier. Like you
That's like
do
me. I
closer things with your friends, you know what I mean?
yeah.
I don't know.
Like the first time I used it
Yeah,
was grade 10 first semester. So
yeah,
literally the same year that we really started getting closer to.
yeah,
And well, actually it was before that, but still, and I used it and I was very yeah, like the first time I smoked weed, I was like, okay, well, like I don't I don't feel anything, right? Like I was like, okay, well, like whatever. Like,
yeah,
I was very at the same time it could have just been like, like some like skunk, like some really like bad shit
yeah,
or whatever. And I was
yeah.
surprised, but here's the big but.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't realize that it affected my mental until I started like much later in the year. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
when you use it, you don't. I didn't 100% realize me myself that it affected my mentality and how I was thinking. Do you
yeah.
know what I mean?
To be honest, like I definitely understand how it has affected me, but like I don't think it's affected me as much as like again media and education, like our secondary education, taught it to us. I don't feel like I'm stupider. I feel like if anything, I'm well educated. Yeah, I mean, for my age and stuff, I don't feel like
I feel
um
like that's a huge stereotype that like I mean
yeah,
obviously it is and I don't like it at all because I don't think that it makes you stupider.
yeah.
The only thing I do think okay, here's like some well-known facts because like I have
Yeah,
used cannabis.
I was gonna do that some one after you, but yeah, go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just you're more relaxed. You're definitely more relaxed. The only
definitely.
thing I
Yeah,
see with it was that for me at least was that especially when it was THC high rather than CBD,
yeah,
I was mentally I was not as sharp. Like you know what I mean? Like I just wanted to relax. Definitely. Like I was not in
yeah,
a place. The weird thing though about it was that I felt more like myself, which is something that like I've never
yeah,
experienced ever in my life before. So I definitely thought hell I might have ADHD. Who knows? Like you know,
yeah.
like and I was
Well,
experiencing normality. I felt normal. You know.
yeah, for me, like, with the fact that if you do have any mental disorder, not unknown or known or genetically in your family, using cannabis at a young age, like underage as a adolescence, can bring it out much quicker or worsen it. And I think my ADHD did worsen from the usage, but at the same time, it didn't get worse from the first time I did it, not the second time, not the third time. It happened over
Over
like
repetitive use.
repetitive years of
Yeah.
use, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I
And
noticed. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah. And like for me, if you're choosing to do it at a young age, not of the legal age of wherever you are, I don't recommend that you do it. But if you do make the decision to do it, really research and understand what you're getting into, and really understand your family background and try to see if there are any mental disorders. Because you know what I mean. Say if you had a schizophrenic grandmother or something like that that you didn't that you personally didn't know, but your mom or something knew of, you might
That's
literally
terrifying.
get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you might like get it after a couple,
Yeah.
times of
I'm
use.
terrified about mental illness in the sense,
Yeah,
especially like just mental illness as a whole is obviously scary, but like my grandpa has like Alzheimer's now and like
yeah, my grandma
or
too.
and it is
And
terrifying. Like the
yeah,
idea of it, like literally just not being able to,
I
you
think it's
know,
like one of like the worst illnesses to have because like you you personally aren't affected, but all your loved ones are affected. Because yeah, my grandma has Alzheimer's, and to her, she doesn't know what the fuck is going on. She's in fucking.
that's
She has
true.
yeah.
That's
She
true.
she she absolutely has no clue what's
Yeah.
going on.
It's not
But
it's not more or less that they're not affected, it's more that they're not affected to themselves, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
they're not.
And they're affecting
Yeah,
everybody else, yeah.
yeah. They're
My
affecting.
grandpa,
Yeah,
he it's such a weird thing though cuz he went like my grandma, she called me and she goes, "Hey, like, you know, like your gramps, has Alzheimer's." And I was like, "Well, what do you mean?
yeah,
Like what's he like okay, like I get that he okay, now if he has this,
yeah.
now
But like how
what is
like how it
what
happened?
is
You
the
know what I mean? Like
detrimental effect? Like what is happening? How is he
yeah,
functioning? Is he okay? Whatever." And the first thing one day he just woke up, he went outside and he just
yep,
pulled on his pants and started peeing on the lawn.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
always wondered, I was like, well, like what part of the brain, what does that?
Like
Like my man's
like
really
yeah.
just leaked on the lawn, you know?
No, yeah, like the thing is like this is gonna kind of sound bad at first when I say, but after I explain, you'll understand. Like
Hmm.
if my grandma didn't break her hip 2 years ago, right? Her having the Alzheimer's now would have been much harder to control, way harder because she would have been walking outside. She would have been like trying to get out all the time because she always trying to leave.
Oh,
So when she broke her hip, like, and
that's
she's in
so
a
scary.
wheelchair now, she's think like not it is tougher because my aunts and stuff have to pick her up, and it's much more physical. But I mean, like, I think they would rather that than my grandma one day just walking out the house. You know
That's
what I mean?
true.
And randomly
That
exploring.
and that's a scary thing because
Yeah.
when they don't know, when you don't know somebody's like mental resilience anymore, or like
Yeah.
the security of them being 100% rational all the time. Once you doubt
Yeah.
that, that's a fear that like stays within you, and like for
Yeah,
me, just
yeah, it
imagine
doesn't really
living with
leave.
somebody like that. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
hard.
and like the crazy thing is, so like my grandmother, right? She had seven children,
Hmm.
and out of us seven, there's gonna be maybe half of us that are gonna get Alzheimer's because it skips a generation apparently.
Damn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
And
like
here's one thing though that I did find out, and it's weird. I don't want to be like that hippie like about mushrooms, but
yeah,
mushrooms, not regular mushrooms, the mushrooms that you trip on, just mushrooms as a
yeah,
whole are
magic
super
mushrooms.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely say yeah. I agree with that. There was a phase this year where I guess I was
Well,
a little
imagine this.
psychedelic head,
My well, we
but
also gave my grandpa, um, I think it's lion's mane, right? And I
yeah,
saw this off of another podcast, and basically, I was like, huh, you know what? Let me research. Let me see the benefits of this mushroom because I've never heard of lion's mane. I was like, what the hell is
yeah,
lion's mane? And it's just a mushroom, right? It looks like white and kind of long. It looks like a lion's mane, right? Like a
yeah,
you
yeah.
know. But there's I'm not sure if there's I can't 100%. So whatever you take from this podcast, everybody, just take it with like a grain of salt. Don't be super lenient. Don't
Yeah,
jump off a
we're not
building.
we're
I'm
not
not a medical
experts.
professional.
Yeah, we're not experts by any means. We're just teenagers expressing our
Experimenting.
experiences, expressing our
Or-
experiences in life.
yeah. Um, but it said that neurogenesis happened, and I looked into neurogenesis. Apparently, all that means is just that the synapses. It's like the brain healing in a weird way. Like it's like it
Yeah,
makes those
because
connections again, and it strengthens
yeah,
it.
no, no, it
I
definitely does. Like the period this year that I really delved into the into magic mushrooms, I definitely like
They're crazy. They're crazy. They're crazy. They're just stuff that is
yeah,
crazy. It's
yeah,
crazy.
definitely like
I felt like a complete reset.
I
Like,
felt like not just when the first time I did them, I felt like a reset, but then after like again the period I did it, I felt like I changed mentally for the better. Like
oh yeah,
I'm so
oh yeah.
open-minded now, and the way I think is differently,
Hmm.
and I don't think I would take back the experience.
No, I would definitely not, and I would definitely. It's weird. Like I wouldn't. It's such a weird thing because in society it's a very 50-50 thing. You meet any person that has been raised on a every substance is bad kind of thing, and they'll
Yeah,
immediately think of you differently the moment you
as a
tell them
crackhead, literally.
as a
They'll think
or
of you.
maybe not everybody, but yeah, most people would be like,
Yeah,
okay,
but
well
think.
they associate you with crackheads or with
Yeah,
that kind of thing. And don't get me wrong, abuse anything and it has a detrimental negative effect.
yeah.
Drink too much water and you'll die, but like
You,
of course it's nearly
anything
impossible.
in excess is bad. Anything in
Yeah,
excess is bad.
anything is excess is bad. It's literally a balance. I wish more people
Yeah.
would see that because too much social media is bad. Too much anything is bad.
Yes.
But of course, once you balance it out, it can have a positive effect. Now, I'm not sure about everything. Like, if you do a bit of fentanyl, that might not have a positive effect, even if you're doing only a
Definitely.
little bit. That's not how that works. Because I feel like
Yeah.
some people love to justify that. You know?
Yeah, no, definitely like for from my perspective, opioids and the whole pill scene, it's definitely not worth it.
I feel like we're way too hooked up on pills. Like way
Yeah,
too.
like our generation, yeah. I've seen some friends really like go into it,
Bro.
and like the thing is once you start it, that's like the that's like the school and education, like when they say drugs are really bad and they turn you homeless, those are the ones that turn you
Yeah, and
homeless.
I was the kid. I was like, I'll never do drugs. I'll never do them.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Why would anybody do ever drugs?
Yeah,
This is so stupid. Like, why would you ever try anything? Like, that is so ridiculous. Like, just
yeah,
be a good person. But like at the same time, that's a flawed mentality. But as a
yeah.
kid,
Well, it
it
was an
was
innocent
justified,
mentality.
right? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it was
it's
an
my
innocent
innocence, right? At the
mentality. Yeah,
time, it was wild. But like for
yeah.
me, when I tried, um, when I did mushrooms,
Hmm.
um, it was crazy. Like at first, Oh yeah, like you're definitely like I was tripping balls, but like
Oh, I
here's
know.
the
And
thing.
also, like, you're in a party environment. I was really
Yeah,
surprised the way you controlled it. Like, a small part of me like had a bad feeling about it, but like I don't know. Because I know that you're like me. I knew that it wasn't gonna affect you
yeah.
like in a
No, I
bad
was I
way.
was so happy.
Yeah,
I was and
because
it wasn't like it made me happy. It was like I recognized what it was doing to me, and I felt good in the environment that I was at, and my
yeah,
mental was good also. Like you were 100% right about that. It was the mental that you have going into it affects it a lot, and
definitely.
it's
Yeah,
like something that like you can't shake off. It's like a wet coat, right? It's
yeah,
like, well,
yeah,
even if you take it off, you're still wet. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm happy I went into that like good. I was laughing my ass off. Like there was,
Oh, I
um,
know.
I won't say his name just for privacy, but you
Yeah,
know that guy and his girlfriend, right? They were
yeah.
just arguing, and it was the funniest thing to me.
Oh,
Like
I know.
for whatever reason, it felt like I understood the very reason of their argument, the very reason of why they were saying the things they said, and I
Oh,
was looking at how just like
no, no,
silly it
I know.
was.
Like
You know?
the way that, because this is the first that you've ever met like my friends down south and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and the way that you just saw the two people that were speaking of the couple, right?
Yeah.
You literally cracked the code. Like you didn't even need 5 minutes. You already knew what the problem was.
And
It
it's
was
weird because
absolutely crazy.
I feel like that's something that it does. Like when you look at that, you can
Yeah,
see the
like
interactions between people to such a level
no,
that it's like
not even
astonishing.
that. Like even on them, and then after like your like the 2 week quote unquote recovery
Mhm.
phase, right?
Mhm.
You can like when people talk to you, you can literally read their
Intentions.
intentions. Yes,
Yes, I
exactly.
noticed
Like
that. It was crazy. It was so wild. It felt like I had like a
yeah.
superpower with like
Yeah, yeah,
it was
yeah.
like
It felt like I swear that was
yeah,
spot on. It felt like a superpower because like
yeah.
I remember because the first time I did them, I like the week after, right? It was the first week of school, right?
Mhm.
And I just like was talking to people, and like some people I literally give them a dead face after talking for them 2 seconds,
So
just
they're so
walk
full
away.
of bullshit, man.
Bullshit.
Like
Yeah, it's
it's just
bullshit. Yeah, like it's wild how you can read the bullshit.
yeah, and it was astonishing. Like I looked at a lot of my like relationships, not like relationships as in like, you know, just friends and like, you know, whatever, but like
Yeah.
everything, every relationship, every interaction, the people at grocery store. Like like I literally maybe it wasn't like the best thing, but like I analyzed, I tried to take a look into everything. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
why do I react this way with this person? Like why, you know, what is this person's and the intentions thing is huge. Because at a
Oh,
base
yeah.
point, there's always an intention between every interaction whether it's
Yes.
subconscious or not.
Yeah.
While I was recovering in that phase, I could tell even I was guilty of it. You know, I mean, like when I would talk to people, I was guilty of trying to at a certain level just obtain something from an interaction. It was simple, you know,
Yeah, I know
and
exactly what you mean.
but the fact that it was so much clearer while I did it, like it's crazy to think that like how long has that drug been like banned like almost nationwide like from the 1950s all the way
Uh,
to like who knows when.
was it the
I don't know in
50s?
the states, but like
Yeah.
you know in Canada it's still illegal. Like
Oh yeah, still Schedule 1.
yeah, so it's
Yeah.
crazy, you know, like but
Like
it's not that bad. Like it's not like
you know what's funny? Sorry to interrupt you. In Canada, it's labeled as a Schedule 1, right, federally? But
yeah.
if you go into any native land, right, or like a provincial park, you abide by their laws, which states like it's legal. You could do it. It's like a part of, it's a part of their like rituals
The
and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
See, it's respective. It's like respectful in that nature, which I
Yeah.
really like about Canada. Like it's
Very
interesting.
cultural,
Yeah.
respecting. You know
Like
what I
even
mean?
though it
Like
varies from province to province, there's less province is in like the entire country.
yeah.
Like I don't know, I feel like the states has too much
Too
sole
much,
independence.
not
Like
not
every
just that.
state, you know what I mean? Like every single state,
Yeah,
you know? But
yeah.
I don't
The
know.
thing with the states too, it's too divided in my opinion. Like,
Maybe. Yeah.
there's, yeah, it's too divided. Like, not just by state, but like by political party, by just by almost every aspect. Like, there's always, I don't know how to explain it really, in good words. But yeah, I'll just keep the words that it's too divided.
Yeah, no, like I agree. I don't know. It's a finicky thing. I do get what you're saying, because the states has so many. The way I see it really is, it's really simple for me. Like, there's too many states. There's
Yeah.
again,
Any
I think that the main idea behind that was because the population is huge. Like, we only have what, like 40 something
the
million or 50 something, and they have like what, like
yeah,
almost like
three. They have
300 and something.
300. No, yeah, they have 300 like 40 or 29 million. But the
That's
thing is,
crazy.
they started like that. You know what I mean? It wasn't like they had this much population, then they divided all the states. It's just
Oh, yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I just think that the states have too much power, in my opinion, and it should be more of a unified system.
Yeah, I feel like they would do so much better too if like it was
Yeah.
more unified.
Well, that's what I mean. Like when you have too much division and too much power separation, it causes too
Yeah.
much problems. No one knows who to report to who.
Yeah, that's
Everyone
true.
thinks, yeah,
Yeah, that's right on the nail. Yeah.
yeah,
Holy crap.
think about it. California, cannabis is legal. Federally, it's not legal. Who's in charge?
That's so weird. Yeah, and it was like who was it? They were telling us that like Denver is like one of the happiest like states
Yes.
or whatever,
Yep.
because like everything's like legalized. Which,
Hmm.
is it's a certain thing, but at the same time, well, okay, you have everything legalized, but then the state over next to you might not have that legalized. That's
Exactly.
wild. It's like oh shit, I left a gram of meth in my car, and now I
Yeah.
crossed the
Drive.
board. Oh
Yeah.
shit,
Literally
I'm
drive
busted.
past the state line. Done.
Yeah, that's it. Like, it's like what? Well, it's like, wait, but
Go to Texas. Literally get the freaking executed. Death penalty.
in
They,
Texas?
yep. Texas and Florida. They give the death penalty like apples.
No way.
Yep.
That's crazy. What?
They those states still have capital punishment.
Oh my
That's why there's
god.
that's the whole point of death row. It's not a life sentence.
Oh
It's
yeah, obviously,
literally
yeah. It's like
yeah.
you're gonna
Yeah,
die.
you're waiting for your execution.
That's crazy. Yeah, and then you think about all the people flexing that. Oh my god, that's so
And the
ridiculous,
and the
bro.
problem with capital punishment, there's so many incidents where after they execute him, they realize he's innocent and they
Wow.
killed it. Yep.
Oh yeah, that's huge. It was like the whole rape fake accusation thing. I hate that. It,
Yeah.
it bugs me.
Not no
Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah, not just that, but like with murders, with
With everything,
robberies, with
yeah.
like real serious crimes, you know what I mean? People like there were a lot of innocent people getting framed.
hmm I'm not, because over there I'm not. It's conviction. Like, it's like you're guilty until proven innocent. Because that's got to be why they're getting charged for something like that. Or
No,
sometimes, or maybe
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
fraud. Oh, sometimes it is like
It
evidence and stuff like that, or like
yeah,
it's like
it's
forged.
yeah, not only that, but what is it? The way that they stack on what's it called? Sentences, right? It's not like Canada where like say if you're charged for like five things, right? You get the highest sentence out of all of the charges. In the states they stack, so say if you killed three people you get three murder charges, you don't get one murder charge like in Canada. So those three like sets of murder charges add up years. So in the states you could literally get like 400 years of prison sentence if you do like a big enough crime
Oh my
or set
god,
of
it's like
crimes.
it's literally like a fucking arcade game.
Yeah. Yeah, literally.
That's, I mean,
and
it's kind of
and
fucked up, but still,
and
like, I
their
mean, wow.
jails are so overpopulated that it's not reforming anyone.
Yeah, I feel like that's a bad thing. Like, there's not enough reformative, back to society ways for
Yep.
everybody to get back. I get it. Like,
That
it's a huge
that's
risk,
why yeah, that's
but
why I give it to like Sweden, Denmark, and Switzerland, I believe. They have like some of the highest rehabilitation rates because their prisons aren't like North American prisons. Like there, they give you tasks and jobs to like literally reintegrate into society.
I don't know, but like Sweden, like,
Motive.
honestly, I was always really surprised because Sweden's like a very, it's pretty diverse in climate, in
Is it?
just area. I mean, like, the have you seen like where it's at, like, geographically? It's a really interesting spot because you
I
would
gotta
think
look
that
at
that's
it again because I know like the general location, but
like, yeah, well, just think of
yeah.
the general location of it, and then just like realize that it's surrounded by like all those big countries and stuff, and
Oh
you're just
yeah.
like, wow, like, it's a really interesting spot for such a unique, very positive, very, because I'm pretty sure you could ask anybody about Sweden. They probably would give you a relatively good answer about it. You know,
Yeah,
they would probably say,
yeah.
"Yeah, it's a nice country. It's awesome. Whatever."
There's not
And
too much
there's
bad to say about it.
yeah, there's not too much
Yeah,
bad to say about it, but look where it's at geographically, right? Like, does
yeah.
I wonder what the obviously the correlation is maybe not too high, but
Uh,
like so if it has no correlation with what it's at geographically, then you should be able to reproduce those same results in other places. What is it
yeah.
about Sweden that we can't do here? You know what I mean?
It's just the way that they,
They eat food. I'm
they.
kidding.
It's just the way they go about the government and their policies and
Yeah,
yeah.
it's tragic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because Sweden, I believe they have a really good economy as well because of their geographical location. You know what I mean? They
I
can
know. I'm
they can
pretty
have so
sure
many seaports to literally anywhere in
if
the
I'm correct, because I
Europe
did a
in
thing in
Europe.
like grade seven.
Yeah,
It's a lot of they have a lot of fresh water too. They have like some of the most like access to like fresh water. Like there's something about it too. They have lots of
maybe
springs and like natural flowing rivers and stuff like that.
mountains and shit,
The
right?
mountains, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
the
Well, Canada has
mountains.
well in a few not a few years, but within a century, more or less, there will be a war for, like a great war for water, natural as fresh water.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah. There's already been like talks about it.
I know. I heard this one story in Florida where they literally limit you to water, like
Yep.
for like watering your garden and shit. Like they
Yep.
literally like if they
There's a
see you
lot of
wasting water, that's it. Like
yep.
like don't do that.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
places where it's like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's why maybe there's some tension. It's weird because they also have a lot of natural disasters. It's really I don't
Yeah.
know like all the hurricanes and stuff and the floods. It's kind of crazy. I didn't
It's
realize the percentage like annually of like just
oh, it's like
millions of
every
homes that get
yeah.
destroyed.
It's
It's
almost like
crazy.
every year.
Yeah, and I don't know like what I don't know. Canada's a very like I know we have very cold weather. Don't get me wrong. Like we have like devastatingly cold weather, but
Yeah, we have harsh cold weather. Yeah.
I don't know.
Very
I don't
harsh
feel
cold
like
weather.
it's. I'd rather the harsh cold weather than a
Like
tornado ripping
yeah,
through
natural
my house.
disasters every year.
Yeah, like
Yeah. It's
don't
not
get me
even
wrong,
like
it's not
it's not
everywhere.
even that bad. You get really
Yeah,
used to the weather here. Like I don't know how to
and it's good
explain
for
it.
you. It's good for
Yeah.
you. The coldness, literally.
Oh, it's
What was
so
it?
good for you.
They say like evolutionally wise, if you're in the cold, you
Yeah.
grow bigger. You literally grow bigger,
Yeah.
and the
No,
testosterone that you produce and stuff like
yeah, it's
that.
more.
Yeah, it's more. It's more.
Literally every day for winter, right?
Yeah.
Cuz my school uniform, we have shorts, right? I would wear shorts and a sweater.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Canadian.
and and I'll don't get me wrong, I'd be freezing my ass off half of the time, but like I knew that like it's still good for me. I don't care. And
Yeah.
at the same time, it's like it's only a 5 minute walk. Like not a 5 minute walk, but like in total, I'm probably walking 5 minutes to start my car, and then from the parking lot of my school to class.
Yeah. I
So
would.
it's yeah, it's not like I'm out there for like hours freezing my ass off in shorts. No.
Yeah, I lived in Calgary for a bit, and it was crazy because when we went to school, like I was still in elementary at the time, but when I went to school there, like people like I thought it was extremified. No, that's normal for them. Like
Yeah.
they would have so like the snow was taller than me.
Yeah. Yeah. I
It
know
would
that.
snow so
Yeah.
much in one day, like maybe even a couple hours, that like I
It'd be
would walk out
feet.
and I can't walk. Like
Yeah.
I'm straight up like like I'm fucked. Like I'm really out here thriving, trying to like climb the snow and shit. Like
Yeah.
geez. But it was beautiful though. Like it's a really beautiful part of the country. I feel like though
Yeah.
it's just really expensive. Like it's really at the
The cost
time
of
it was
living there is
cheap, but I feel
expensive.
like the cost of living now is pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All northern provinces for us, yeah, in
Yeah.
the colder,
Even
yeah.
spring, like you have like the only because they do get summer up there, but it's like
Very
what
short.
very short. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very limited.
It's like a
It's
few
interesting.
weeks.
Yeah, it's remarkable. It's really
Yeah.
something else. It's fucking fantastic. Oh boy, have you seen the crypto recently?
Yeah, there was like a 2% increase today, or like 1% or something like that. Yesterday there was like a 5% drop. It's not. I'm
That's
not
awesome.
worried at all.
When did you actually first get into cryptocurrency?
November of 2019. Like
Oh, just recently then.
I'm quite new. Yeah, I kind of the way I got into it was like in business class.
Mm-hmm.
For first semester. We never looked at crypto, but I was looking at like stocks and like trying to find a way to, not just make money through exchanging hours, like time for money. You know what I mean? Because in my
It's
opinion,
huge.
like
It's everywhere.
it's not everyone does it, and not only that, it's not very rewarding because you're spending time.
It's if okay, yeah,
Yeah,
I definitely agree with it.
yeah. And I'm
I've seen
not saying I'm never gonna get a job and stuff like that. It's just like I need more means of increasing my assets. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
why just make why just rely on one source of income when I can have multiple streams of income?
that's 100.
S-
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
And for me, it hit me really when like I realized that like I got my first job and I'm waking up and I'm working. I'm going to school, right? Like I'm working Monday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday,
Yep.
and on the weekends, I'm pouring in like 10,
Hours,
11 hours,
hours. Yeah. Yep.
Like, I don't come home until like the afternoon. And like, by that time, I haven't even started my school homework. And like, I just
Yeah.
have to, I go to
I
bed at
know.
like 11, 10, and do it again the next day. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah. It was, and you're so tired of it,
It felt good
and
when I got the
like,
paycheck. It
yeah,
was like, because I went from doing like newspaper delivery, and that paid me like $12 for doing like 600 newspapers for my whole block.
yeah,
Not no, I sorry, correction. I did blocks on blocks. Like
yeah. I know.
and I had to get my mom to help me.
I
Like
know,
we
cause
would fill up the
it's
car
and
cuz
they
it's
don't pay a
so
lot at
much
all.
and they don't pay a lot at all. And I was like, "What is this?" And then when I got my first retail job, Tim Hortons, aka God bless Tim Hortons, but I love it. And the paycheck was amazing because I was like, "Oh my god, like I'm getting
It was a
hours and
it was a
but
big
it's
paycheck
more
at the time.
valuable. It was worth it." Yeah, oh yeah. But
Yeah,
now I'm looking at it again and I'm like, "This is not enough. Like I
yeah,
cannot
not
live
at
off of
all.
this."
Yeah, you can't.
I will literally burn myself down to the ground before I can ever buy a car. Or
Yeah.
rather, I can buy a car. It's not going to be the best car.
Well, not
And
even that. Like, if you want a nice car or something that you'd like, you're gonna have to take a lease or a
oh
loan,
yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
go
I'm
into
so
debt.
happy I had shout out to Mr. Russell, high school teacher, for
Yeah,
giving me that one lesson on just the cost of life. You got
yeah,
internet, the phone, car, gas, insurance, home insurance, what you know,
yeah.
if you're renting, expenses,
Your
whatever,
entertainment
something, a
expenses.
safety net. It's crazy.
Yep.
And I'm so blessed right now to have a parent who can take care of me. I'm so happy for this.
Yeah,
Like
literally, because like you take a lot of people take it for granted, because there's a
yeah,
lot of people that have to literally help their parents pay for their bills, or their
yeah.
parents might not be around as much, or their parents are working so much, you know what I mean, just to like
There's a
keep the
huge
roof over their
disconnect
head.
between the youth, at so many levels. Like
Yeah.
there's kids that are on complete spectrums, like complete rich, like their parents buy them their cars, whatever, blah blah
Mhm.
blah. And you have the complete opposite. You have kids that are going to school, just barely scraping by, getting the morning program, learning their education, appreciating it, and just
Yep.
trying to do the best that they can with what they have. You know what I mean? And it's a really interesting thing. At the same time, it's a little sad, but there's room for growth in all of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah.
There's always a chance
Sorry.
to do something.
Yeah,
That was
so
it.
definitely when I saw crypto, right, when I got like I always like kind of knew about it, but I didn't really understand it. So one day I was like, fuck it, I want to understand what the hell Bitcoin is, right? Because like there has to be a reason why it was so like it has so much value, right? And once I realized like how it's revolutionary to the financial industry and stuff like that, and like the actual value that it has, not the price tag on it that it has like currently, but the actual like principal value is much greater than the monetary system that we have now. And I realized that financial freedom in the future is extremely important. Like, uh, not having to worry about your bills or putting food on the table, and like being able to enjoy things that like I can enjoy. You know what I mean? I think it's a big thing.
I like to see it because I was really concerned that like I would not have enough
Yes,
experience rich moments in my life, and that I would a huge fear is just like
homelessness,
because I
being
hear it
nothing.
everywhere: homelessness, a regretful life, and just I guess just being unsuccessful, right? Like
Yeah.
it affect it. I'm not sure. I guess it's a bit of everything. The people I talk to, the things that I saw in media, everything they intake. But it's scary. Like
Yeah.
you don't.
No, no, definitely like around January and stuff like that, and before that, like starting from grade 11, I was literally like petrified, thinking that I wouldn't like amount to anything because I didn't have a plan at the time, and I thought that me not like, because I never was like not I'm a smart kid, but I never liked high school, and I never liked the system of high school and how what
It's
they
such.
taught us.
It's such a like regurgitation of information. It's like a copy paste, and whoever
Yeah,
can memorize and retain that information better is the person who's going to do very good. Which don't get me
exactly.
wrong. Don't get me wrong. I think it is like I understand it. Like you're basing it off that, but
Yeah.
we're such a population that's so diverse with so many different types of kids that kids not everywhere thrive on that.
Not even that. Like for me, think about it like this. Right now, I don't know how to apply for a mortgage. What am I gonna do? Get fail? If I ask someone how to apply for a mortgage? No, that's called cooperation. You need people's information to help you in life because one person doesn't have the answer to everything, and that's impossible to have the answer for everything. You need cooperation. You need help from others. I don't think. I think a test that's thrown in front of you and you have to just memorize everything that you just read in the book basically and spit it out right back to them is stupid. Does not Most of the things that you learn don't apply. Don't get me wrong, if you're like in the sciences and you're trying to become a doctor or in the medical profession and stuff like that, you definitely need it. That education is kind of, needed
Yeah.
because
I
yeah,
think that
but
whoever it applies to, if they need
yeah,
it, they need it. Like it's just it's a fact, right?
yeah,
However, most people are not like well, here's the thing. The main idea that a lot of parents are putting into them is like, yeah, university. But here's the thing, not everybody's meant for university. And you know what's funny? You can make a better living sometimes on your own, entrepreneurially wise, just
yeah,
doing your own thing than going to university and competing with the hundreds and hundreds of people that are doing the
the
same thing.
millions,
Yeah.
millions,
Oh,
not
yeah, yeah.
hundreds.
All across the
And
nation, all across
and
everywhere.
yeah, not only that, but I I think school builds workers and employees. And personally, I'm not that. I'm not a
Yeah, it's
worker.
it's it's
I'm
it's
not the
it's
one
a
who
it's a
takes
worker
orders. I'm
worker.
the one who gives them.
It's ridiculous. Like,
Yeah,
well, sorry, I won't say it's ridiculous. I think school is good. I think
yeah,
that my goal is going to be that if I ever have a kid, I'm going to try and homeschool them to a certain point, but I need them to have that interaction with society to
yeah.
understand those
For
institutions and how they work.
for me, I'm gonna give my kid exactly what I was given. So like public schooling, but still Catholic, because like Canada doesn't. It's not like a Catholic private school like in the U.S.
Yeah, yeah.
Give him exactly what I had, and give him the exact information and open mind that I had, and see what he goes, what he or she
Thinks of
builds
it.
from that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because in the
because
end, they're gonna completely experience things differently than you, and
differently,
who
exactly.
knows what they
So
pick up, right? Like it'll
yeah,
be interesting. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's cool. That's cool. But I mean, I don't know. Like I'm still considering if I'm even gonna have kids because it's such a weird. Like I do think I have this weird sense that like I do want to believe that okay, in order for me to be a proper father, I have to have the proper state of mind, and whenever that is, I'll probably decide then. But
yeah.
at the same time, it's not like you wait for things to happen. You have
Yeah,
to
the thing, yeah, I think with
create that
parenthood,
character
it's
and
not
decide along the
something you
way.
can really prepare for. It's something that you kind of have to tackle on. But at the same time, there's definitely a wrong moment and a right moment
Oh yeah,
to have a
oh yeah,
kid.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Jesus, like it happens even now with even though we have condoms, contraception, birth control, everything. There's still kids that are becoming fathers in high school.
Yeah.
Some of them intentionally, that's fine, but the unintentional ones, and that still happens. Like that's your life. That it's hard.
It is. Yeah.
You're in the middle of growing up. You've been thrown into taking care of now of a child, and
Yep. But
depending on your situation,
at
it
the same
depends.
time, your actions have consequences, and it's kind of technically your fault that you're in that situation. Not all the time, but
Yeah, just like don't do that. Don't have intercourse. Just like don't.
yeah.
Just
Or
like
take the precautions. You know what I mean?
take the even.
Yeah,
It's funny though because
no,
even
yeah, know what
sometimes
you're
the
signing up
precautions
for, kind
don't
of.
work.
if
Yeah,
that makes sense.
it does. It does. It does. It's fascinating. I don't know. We live in such a weird time right now. Like we have everything going down, and it's just it's weird. Like I feel like even now, like I'm grateful that quarantine has happened. Excuse me, because it's given me a lot of time to reflect on myself
Yes,
and to do
definitely.
things like this podcast, like to do things that I've never really intentionally maybe thought I'd had time for.
Yeah. To be honest, the quarantine and like a little bit before it, I did a lot of self-reflection and I stopped worrying and being scared of the future really. Like I was thinking too ahead of my time and now I realize I should only have like I should definitely still have my long term goals but focus on my short-term goals to build up
Mm-hmm.
to my long-term goals.
Yeah, for sure. Like financially wise, I have grown a lot this year. Like in knowledge, or you know, what I mean that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know what's crazy? Like you really struck gold when you told me about like just like online certifications and stuff like that because
Yeah.
it's that you know
Oh,
the
with
internet's
online
actually a
classes and
crazy
stuff, yeah.
yeah yeah. There's so much things that you can invest yourself into, and really just you'd be surprised what you can actually gain from it. Like these are skills. As long as like there's a high demand for it, you can probably find a job for it. Like it's so
Yep.
diverse and you can really make
Or
a career out of
yeah,
almost anything.
sometimes you don't even have to find the job, you can make it after you learn
Yeah,
the
it's
skills.
crazy. Look, the blockchain network is literally it's fantastic because it is literally its own job. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's
it's
crazy.
kind of revolutionary. It is revolutionary in my opinion. I think,
Let's start a
and
let's start a cryptocurrency. Let's make our own cryptocurrency. Let's call it Wendy's. I don't know.
Wendy's.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
the
To be
Wendy
honest,
coin.
like, not even interested in making or really like doing too much coding for them. Maybe in the future I will, but like right now, uh, I think just being an investor is kind of key right now to getting it, to bring up the industry and market. Like compared to the private market and public market, like the stock trade and stuff like that. Uh, uh, Cryptocurrency is only zero point 0.3 trillion. When like the actual market is like 17 or 19 trillion or something like that. It's something big. So like say if $1 trillion were to get into the cryptocurrency stream, it would be huge. Like
It's a lot.
that,
It's a lot of
yeah,
fluctuate. It's a lot of
that,
volume moving to like you know. It's
yeah, no, like the a 1 trillion like bringing into the market, like even though it would be separated, Bitcoin would at least go like 1,000% up. As
wow.
crazy as that
Yeah,
would seem,
cause imagine your investment, you know,
yeah,
multiplying before
because
you.
yeah,
It's
because think
crazy.
about it, zero point 0.3 trillion. Now you get a whole like times three and point three. I mean 3.3.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you know what I
yeah.
mean?
Like I'm no economy expert, but you know, you put two and two together, and you can kind of
Yeah,
basically
exactly. You
like
can
there's a
put
lot
two
of
and two
factors,
together and
but
get a
you can
rough
get
idea.
a rough idea right on there.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
and like going back to like how I don't like I hated the high school education system and stuff like that. I took a data management course. I took a couple math courses, trying to understand like how stocks worked and stuff like that. I didn't learn jack shit. I took about a month to really learn cryptocurrency, and like every day I still educate myself in it. And I took maybe about an hour looking at stocks and then like some videos. It literally was actually an Instagram post too that helped me understand what I was seeing, and I understood stocks better than any math teacher could help me with.
Damn.
Like
That goes to show you. I feel like education's getting outdated
it's
like
yeah,
so many
like
times faster than we
I
can update it in time.
I think education is the key to life, but our education system in Canada and in the United States is absolutely terrible and bullshit.
Yeah. I don't think it's really like I think that but here's the thing, like I don't want to be I don't know, maybe it's my own idea of it, but like I see it like as if you just go through that, you don't question any of this, then
Yeah,
you're not gonna get results. You're gonna keep the same results that
yeah,
everybody
you're a
else got.
robot.
You're just mindlessly going through life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not really here's the thing, you can question stuff, and that's a good thing. Like, we need this. So like, if I'm questioning something doesn't make sense to me, it's not that nothing's wrong with me or anybody else. It's that there's something about the material. Maybe it is me, but maybe there's something about the material. And the thing is, it's not if there's something about me, it's if there's something about the material that's wrong, or something that can be made better, or just a
Yeah.
different education as a whole. Then we need to do that. We need to progress. Otherwise, we just if you're not growing, you're shrinking. Like, you're not. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It just
If
depends.
if you're not educating yourself or growing yourself in one way, think of it as a race. Another person has passed you already. Think of life as a great race, and every time you take a second to look back, one person or two have already passed you.
Yeah.
You got to keep looking straight and just keep
Yeah.
going.
And it's so easy to become like narcissistic and just like absorb yourself in nihilism and
Oh,
just like
so easily. It's
and just
so
become.
easy.
It happened to me. I became
Yeah.
super depressed. Grade 9 to like grade 10 and like grade 10 second semester, just before the summer of grade 11,
Yeah,
or
I
sorry, the
remember
start
that.
of grade 11. But
Yeah.
and it was based around that, like the like, okay, well, it's all erased, like, why am I going to compete? But that was it. The thing is, it's like a
It
snowball
was
effect.
yeah, it was your
It's
mindset at the time.
Yeah, the mindset is bad. You have to definitely hang in there. And here's the thing, I think that there's too much pressure on people thinking that you have to be happy all the time. No, you're not going to be freaking happy all the time.
Yeah,
There's
life, you're never gonna be happy all the time. You're never gonna be sad all the time. It's like
exactly, it's
it's like a
crazy.
roller coaster with no hoops, just up and downs.
Yeah.
You're gonna be happy for that amount of time, then you're gonna be sad for that amount of time.
Yeah, and it's all there for a reason. There's
Yeah.
there's
You need
there's
you
good
need pain
moments
to
to
grow.
celebrate. Yeah, you need pain to grow.
Without pain, you can't grow.
That's why I feel
Why?
like so many people are sensitive nowadays. Like, it's just so, you know. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. It's not wrong to have feelings. That's different. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
People
That's
people
completely
like to
different.
twist the argument around
Yeah, twist the
completely. It's
words
like,
around. No, no, no,
yeah,
no, no. There's a difference between having feelings and being sensitive.
oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Even the nature versus nurture thing. Like, it's people would love to settle on one idea. Well, no, it's a combination of both. It's
Yeah.
nurture and nature. To a certain point, your genetics does play a part in who you are. But at the same time, your environment creates you and molds you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And of course, your own thoughts and who you are as a person eventually will decide that. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be a wild journey to, like, just like imagine yourself 10 years from now. Like, like, I've changed so much all the way
Yeah.
now, and I can only imagine in like double my lifespan from now. You know what I mean? Or wait,
Yeah.
that was the word wrong, but still, like,
I know what you mean. Yeah,
double
I
my
understood
age
the
from
meaning.
now. You know?
Yeah, to be honest, like when I was saying before how I used to be really scared of the future, now I'm exactly the opposite. I'm really looking forward for the future and seeing what I'm gonna make of it. Cause I don't know why, like lately I've been really thinking that I might be the kind of like with my mindset and like my drive, I think I might be the one uh to really change like my family status if you know what I mean by
And you know
that.
what? That's awesome. You know what? You
Yeah,
will. As long as, like, you put in the work and you just keep growing, you can definitely do it. You know what I mean?
definitely. Yeah.
Because there's this world is so diverse, man. Like, you can really do so much. Like,
Yeah, you can do literally anything. You just have to put your
it's
mind to it.
yeah, 100%. I'm surprised. Like, I've been trying, maybe not relentlessly, but like, still, I
So
have been
yeah,
trying to learn as much this year. And it's surprising because, like, well, it's not like you learn one thing and, like, you go, oh, like, I know how to do this now. But you go, oh, I learned one thing, I learned another thing, and then it slowly adds up and it makes like a collective. You know,
exactly. And
it's pretty
like
sick.
by close to the end of your life, you realize how wise you are.
Yeah, for real, for real. We'll
Yeah.
see. Well, anyways, man, thank you for coming out on the podcast. It's
Oh,
been
no problem.
awesome
Thank you for
having you
having me.
here. I'd love to get you back some other time. We'll set something up, and yeah,
I think I might just have to be a regular. I
you
might I
have to
might
be a
have to
regular
steal the show from you.
co-host. All right, everyone. It's been
Uh,
a pleasure. Thank you for coming out to the podcast. This has been the Pez Podcast, and everybody have a great day. Awesome.
please leave a like and rating. Leave a comment too and subscribe.
Give me
Or
an
your
Uber,
mom gay.
Uber 5 stars.
Uber 5 stars.